Please welcome Professor James Barany.
Did you really think in picking me you were going to get something normal? First slide, please. Graduates, at some point in your life, make a dramatic entrance. Now, what we're going to do today, because I've exhausted 5 minutes of my speech already, we're going to give you a condensed version of a faculty speech. But I'm going to use what we just did as the lesson. Could we do that one more time? Okay? All right. Never be afraid to take that risk to challenge. And when you do, you still may have to jump over the edge. That is going to be something you have to take with you. When Giuseppe Verdi wrote this in 1836 or 5, I have to check my numbers. It's amazing that it became a national standpoint, that this song embedded the entire idea of Italy. And now it's being used as a song of protest when society and or arts funding is being diminished. And I don't care how tremendous or huge you think that is, but I could think of nothing more apropos than to share this song with you today. Next slide, please. Aha. Sing all of the notes as they were intended to be sung. Have you done that in your 4 years? I question, have you taken chance and hold of every possible opportunity, experience that was presented to you? Or did you skip and find a way around things? Now you will have to face this on your own. But mind what I said, because next slide. Forget the notes. What I'm more concerned is that you sing the line that they create. Notes or points create lines, lines create shapes, shapes create forms, and forms create structures, right? You'll probably never think of Val Passero again the same way. The song that we just sang for you, a song of Hebrews who have been exiled from their homeland. And I think of all of you, soon leaving us, yearning to return at one point or another. Let's continue. Next slide, Mark. Language is just part of the problem. Think about the words and know what they mean before you say them. As you may imagine, singing opera is my second career. I know a little Italian. He's right over here. Oh, and Maurizio Merle, thank you. When I went to college and wanted to keep singing, mind you, I'm a MIAD alum from '92, I knew no other language. But going into opera forced me to embrace this idea. Now, je ne comprends pas bien la français, schweig, damit dich niemand warnt. Libera tu. I can sing in 6 languages. Here's my point in the lesson. Never stop learning. Learning is a lifelong endeavor. You have only begun that process with us for these last 4 years. Every challenge you have will present you the same kinds of challenges that we had given you. Lifelong learning is essential. Next slide, Mark. Maestro only controls the tempo. So we have an Italian maestro in the opera that I perform with the Florentine, and it's amazing. James, the only thing I control is the speed of the production. Everything else is on you. And God bless you if you come to him unprepared. If we're singing in Italian, his initial remarks to you will be in German. Schweizkopf, blah, blah, blah. He goes on. If he goes into Italian and starts criticizing you, you had better pray to God the door is open, because if he gets to English where you can fully understand what he's saying, you don't want to be in the same room. This has only happened to me 1/2 of one time. Now, how prepared are you? How prepared do you still need to become? There's no fairy dust, there's a lot of silk feathers. Be careful when you get up, by the way. But, how can I anoint you any more than that, visually and symbolically? You need to prepare yourselves for the challenges that you have coming. Your lessons aren't done. This thesis exhibition, to me, is the first exhibition in your vitae 10 years from now. Next slide, Mark. Sing the aria the way you would have wanted it sung. I have a mantra. If you've ever been in my class, one of the things I tell all my students is, I teach this to you the way that I would have wanted it taught to myself. You have to redefine and still live within an order and a practice. It's something being chair of foundations gives me nightmares and headaches on a weekly basis. Trying to find a sense of consistency. It's like herding cats or nailing water to the wall. But yet we go forward. And here we are together in this one last moment. But again, this is not a moment of departure. It's a moment of ignition. It's the ethereal space in front of the arrow, as David Martin would say in the most graduate way. It's the space of energy before the object is hit. Mark, next slide. Oh, become an ensemble. I can't tell you how critical it is to think of that. Some of you are soloists, and you will always sing that way, and that is fine. But there's great power to work in collaboration with each other. There were 6 of us right now singing for you. 6 of my dear colleagues from the Florentine Opera. And I love each and every one of them. And I would have had 20, but the budget didn't allow it. But you have to mind the fact that we tried as best we could to listen to each other the best we could so that we would find a sense of balance. That's a difficult thing to do. When Mark Rios came to MIAD a few years ago, I'll never forget one of the things he said. He said, in short, the idea is that he would hire as many people as possible to be part of his entourage. The one rule he puts in place is this: he will not hire 2 of the same individuals. We're not talking identical twins here. If somebody had the exact same skill set or thought process, he wouldn't hire them. Because what he's trying to do is create a sense of unity through intense variety. And I think that's important. Mark, next slide. Ha. This is live theater. Shit will go wrong. At the rake stage in theater, I'm downstage right now, that's up traditionally, is literally on a rake. It's on a degree angle. And I will not say the name of this or I will be scorned for life, but we did a certain opera called McBee. You can figure out what the rest of that might mean. I will not have bad luck placed upon me. And sure enough, somebody backstage said the whole word of the name of the opera, and we're like, oh, this is gonna be bad. This happened in honest life. The necklace of the king himself came undone, and on it was 1,000 beads. And all of these beads started bouncing like marbles across the stage, and all the ASMs, the backhand stagehands, are doing this. There are marbles on the floor. There are marbles on the floor. So we're on stage kicking them off like this, and you could hear them hitting the orchestra. It was horribly fantastic. But you have to be prepared. There are 4 or 5 things that changed between rehearsal last night and now that we had to deal with. Don't complain, just deal, right? Keep your chin up and use your creative powers and get around it. And think about how it is that you're going to satisfy either yourself or your client. You have to have that attitude. Mark, next slide, please. When you sin, sin boldly. But in theater, what you try to do is learn from that so that you are not cursed to then sin again. Maestro loves triple forte solos that come out of absolutely nowhere because that singer was completely sold on the fact that at that point in time is when they were supposed to start singing. Usually when that happens, he'll do another schluff comment and we'll be on with our lives. But the person who repeats that is destined to be scorned. So, anytime something like this happens to you, any mistake, anything that goes wrong, think about how you can find the positive energy within it. And you're going to have to back up quite a bit and think about that in a metacognitive way because it's going to be part of the rest of your life. Make the most out of your failures and your mistakes. Don't let them defeat you. Mark, next slide. Bravi tutti! Together we leave. Now, Cody, you rocked it. I love the double head thing that you're talking about before, and you praised everybody. But here's my praise to you. And this comes from the silent generation, and this comes from the greatest generation. It is your duty, it is your obligation to pay it forward. This is what you are to do with your life's energies. Don't stop making. Please, take a pause. You know, even me, I make batches of cookies when I'm in the studio. Woo-hoo-hoo, doing stuff, I got a lot of stuff, and I'm sleeping for a month, and then I'm back at it. We all have different tempos. Find your rhythm, be prepared, and bring to the creative conversation everything that you are capable. And I'm going to tell you right now, you came to us mighty prepared. We helped shape that clay and articulate those moments. Back up your files, be smart about where you put your hazards, and be unbelievably creative in this contribution of life. Thank you.